college football, major college football, had the most unique regular season of any sport on planet Earth. Every single game mattered, every quarter mattered, every point mattered. When Georgia would play Ball State, hey man, we better beat them by 60, and so we're going to keep our foot on the gas all the way through the third quarter, maybe into the fourth quarter, because we got to win by a wide enough margin that we don't lose any stature or standing. Everything mattered. From week 1 all the way through week 11 or 12, that was unique. You didn't need to sacrifice that specialness just so you could be like everyone else. Everyone else has a tournament. Well, look at NCAA basketball. The tournament is starting to mean less and less. The regular season in college basketball has been completely destroyed. Now the regular season in college football has been diminished, and the bowl season has been destroyed. And there have been this tournament that's supposed to be just like the NCAA basketball tournament. Show me, there's no one shining moment videos for the college football tournament. It's not the same. No one remembers the alleged tournament. I don't, if they go to 12, 16, when they get to 24, this tournament, a football tournament, like it just isn't the same. It was better when the regular season mattered, and then me and Danny could have stupid arguments about, well, Florida State, their one loss was better than Penn State. I don't know why Penn State was voted number 1. We could argue that in sports bars forever. Now we can't.
You know what I had Notre Dame fans telling me as I was saying head-to-head matters? They were asking for my 1993 national championship ring back.
Boom.
Because both Notre Dame and Florida State were one-loss teams at the end of the season. Our only loss was to Notre Dame. They wanted it back.
And I just talked about this last week because who won the head-to-head in the regular season? What?
We lost to Notre Dame in the game of the century in 1993 in South Bend. We lost that game in the regular season.
Yes, and I took the position then that, hey, what are we arguing about here? Notre Dame's beat them. And this is when the regular season used to really matter. Now that the regular season doesn't matter as much, I don't stand as firm as I did. But I remember that 1993 season, and I remember the arguments, and everybody survived. You mean no one from Notre Dame or Florida State developed cancer after that controversial decision? No one's life was ruined. They didn't fall into depression and everybody commit suicide? Or did you just go on with your life, Danny?
Well, I was on the right side of the argument. Like, I have a national championship ring, so I was on the right side of that one. I can't speak for every Notre Dame fan. I mean, they still feel like they're crying an awful lot about it. So I don't know if they're ever, they might have gone to therapy potentially, but it seems like they've gotten over it okay. So our sport, it runs the risk, right? There's so many changes. And since 2021, when we had the transfer portal open up, we had NIL legal, like we've seen more change in college football in the last 5 years, but if you want to go 10 years, than the previous 75 years. It is crazy, the rapid change, conference realignment. It's the one thing you said that I would really agree. Like, Oklahoma, Texas to the SEC really did a lot of damage. So then it opened up the door where now we've got, with the Pac-12 is gone. Like, it's destroyed. It doesn't exist anymore. They're trying to bring it back, but it's going to be a joke. We've got Cal and Stanford in the ACC. Makes zero sense whatsoever. That's the one thing that I do worry about. I would counter that more damage has been done by the player empowerment movement, where they are making money and they are going around. I think that players have been opting out of bowls. Like, we as a society, and I would say I would put the onus on sports writers for this one, we're applauding. Way to go, Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey. Way to go. You guys shouldn't play in those bowls. What do you owe to those teams? And from that moment, which I think was in 2016, that moment on, it opened up the box for everybody to say, well, if I'm not even going to get criticized by anybody, and everybody's applauding me for doing the smart thing, for making a business decision, then why would I play in my bowl game? And I think that was where it really started. And then you've seen the erosion of what college football, the essence of college football, which was going to university for 4 years, playing with the guys you went there with, playing because you wanted to play for a national championship. Sure, if you made it to the NFL, that was great. But I never felt exploited, and that changed and now a lot of that came from sports writers who told these players, you're getting exploited. Everybody's making money. There is some truth in that too, right? The NCAA is not without fault. It did go on forever. They didn't respond. They could have taken action earlier. And if they would have just given players stipends 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we would not be in this mess. But now here we are, and it's just everything's unraveling right in front of our eyes.
There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. It's never too late to do the right thing. And so, look, if they had, or if someone would say, hey, man, we got to dole out this money to the players more responsibly than this. And so, hey, as a freshman, you get to the end of the season, you meet these academic standards, here's your balloon payment at the end of the year. Sophomore, you get a different rate of pay. Here's your payment, blah, blah, blah. Junior, senior, and, it's based off playing in X number of games. If we had done all this responsibly, put a cap, there should be, in my some sort of reasonable cap on coaches and how much you can offer them to go here and there. And all of that, if we had done it responsibly, or if we had the willingness to do it responsibly. But I just think everybody kind of likes the corruption and the chaos. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones and Littlefinger say chaos is a ladder? That's what this whole thing is based on. Is chaos allows the exploiters to exploit and to further funnel money and power their direction. And that's all that's really going on here.
Totally. 100%. The money has corrupted the sport. And it's like nobody's right. Everybody got greedy. Everybody was collecting. And to some extent, they were courting all of the money. My big pushback, and I remember having this argument with Russillo when I was on ESPN radio, because I was always amateur player. Like, these players, a scholarship is value, right? Like I always felt like I got something worthy, and even more so for the non-revenue sports. Like you talk to baseball players and soccer players, and they were like, are you kidding me? I get to go to college for free. They thought it was a great deal. And so I was always, there's value there. And then Russillo would be like, well, and I was like, well, the numbers, like there's not enough money to go around, because I was buying into a lot of the balance sheets and the discussion for the athletic department saying we're broke. But then we got to a point with the round of TV deals that were probably in 2017, 2018. And it was, you see the numbers on those deals. It was like, oh, there's plenty of money to go around for everybody, including the non-revenue sports, and to be able to pay the players. And that's when I kind of changed my mindset. Not to mention the court system. Like the NCAA lost every significant battle in court. So you just read the tea leaves, and you could say you might like amateur sports, but it's not going to exist. They're not going to be able to hold up in a court of law.
The other thing for me, Danny, is I'm right there with you. I was a guy that was like, hey, man, this system for the overwhelming majority of players is fair. Jason Whitlock would probably still be stuck in the ghetto if not for some college football athletic ability and able to get a college scholarship because of football. Totally fair for me. And we sit around in Ball State and do the math during study table, how many hours we gave to football versus how much our scholarships were worth, and we're getting exposed. But we weren't. Most of us were like happy as hell. We're on a college campus and our meals are paid and we got a little money, blah, blah, blah. But once the glut of money came in at such an enormous level, and then point two, that the value at this point of a college education, given all the leftist brainwashing that goes on college campuses, I don't blame young people for saying, man, I ain't going to college so I can get brainwashed and be around a bunch of weirdos that want to convince me that, all of my Christian values are worthless. So I kind of get it. Like now, no, give me some money, because these brainwashed professors you got, I want really no part of. That. I run into kids now that have been homeschooled and never went to college that are super successful business people,